happy Starseeds. We are on day 2 of vlogging and I'm keeping up with it. This is very exciting. I'm currently on my way to my friend Brooks's house because I upload all of my videos from his house because my internet is hella slow, and you know that if you follow me on Instagram. So that's where I'm heading right now. It is a lovely, lovely, lovely day. And I just wanted to mention, I don't want to get like too specific or whatever, but I wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, when certain thoughts or realizations about how life is currently, even if you may not be enjoying it, like how that can be hard. I think a lot of people in the spiritual community, you know, just have this whole like, think positively and everything will be fine, just, you know, ignore it. And that's someone I knew. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this idea of when you're having a thought, maybe it's about a breakup or, you know, financial issues, whatever, like your feelings, whether or not you are going to let them control how you perceive the world or how you're going to, you know, go forward, doesn't mean your feelings aren't valid. Your feelings are there as a compass. Our feelings are there to solely show us if we're in alignment with our desires or if we're not. And to be honest, most of the time we're not in alignment with our desires because we haven't learned how to focus our vibration to, you know, tune into the reality we want to experience, which is like the whole point of being here. So when you're not feeling well, you know, take a moment and acknowledge that you're having this feeling. And you feeling that way is completely valid because you're not in alignment with what you want. And that doesn't feel good. That doesn't mean though that you have to, you know, allow that to dictate the rest of your day. You know, like you don't have to then sit in that for, you know, however many days. You can say, I'm feeling this way. I acknowledge I'm feeling this way. Breathe, be present with yourself in that feeling to say, all right, what does this mean? And how are my thoughts dictating this? Because oftentimes, most of the time, it's our thoughts and our belief systems and our perspective around what's happening that's really causing us to suffer. As an example, say you have broken up with someone and you're really not cool with that, and you're sitting there going, oh my God, this sucks. And you can be like, yeah, this doesn't feel good. I'm not in alignment with oneness. I'm not in alignment with wanting to be with the soul that I love. But then you can step into and go, okay, true. But these feelings are also stemming from the belief that what's happening isn't supposed to be happening, that it isn't all in divine order. So you can start to go, okay, there's never lack. There's always a reason, and step into that belief system. And even though you might not feel 100% better, you're going to feel somewhat better. And, you know, that's a great way of dictating how you're going to perceive your reality. So I just want to encourage you in, you know, oftentimes, you know, we're taught just be positive, just be positive. And I think real peace comes from balance, you know, loving yourself, but pushing yourself to be your greatest version. And within that loving yourself, and understanding your limits and understanding, you know, growth and learning is a process. And even things being what you want them to be is a process. Because we're in the 3rd dimension, it takes a moment for things to shift into gear. So I think it's really important to understand that. You know, I've talked about this idea that I don't believe that, you know, being happy all the time should be the, you know, the goal, the thing we're always pursuing. I think the goal, in the moment, we should be present with the idea of being peaceful and not getting caught up in the story and understanding that everything has flow to it, and that, you know, our reality is a reflection of the vibration we hold. And as we become mindful of that vibration, we can shift that reality and, you know, really just stepping into that space of empowerment. And I think that's what's really important to focus on. But this idea of balanced, neutral peace. You know, you might not be happy in the middle of a war zone, but you can be peaceful. So I think that's what we really need to focus on. But anyway, these are the thoughts I was having this morning. It's so warm out, guys. I think it's almost like 90 degrees. It's like ridiculous. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I'm gonna keep heading my way to Brooks's house, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye. I wanted to mention on a side note that the idea of like breathing through an uncomfortable feeling will instantly raise your vibration higher, because what you're doing by breathing through it and deciding to become present with the feeling, that's very important as well. You are then loving yourself and becoming present with yourself and taking care of your own needs, which is one of the highest vibrations you can hold. So that's when I talk about breathing through the emotion, being present. That all is going to raise your frequency, and that's really what makes you feel better, because you're becoming more in alignment with your truth. You're becoming more in alignment with oneness. You're becoming more in alignment with your desires. By honoring that you want the thing, by honoring that it doesn't feel good, you are becoming more in alignment with your true self, because your true self is fully loving. So that's why, if you guys want a little like thing on why that works, that's why that works. Same with like breathing through a physical pain. Our natural state is health and oneness. So when you become present and loving, your vibration and thoughts are more in alignment with your true state, which is why you don't hold the vibration to be in pain or sickness. So that's how that works. Anywho, yep, just little wanted to throw that in there. All right, bye. Hello, beautiful souls. So today, little smudge. Maybe, is that better? Maybe not. Hello, guys. Today is a down day, sort of. When I say down day or self-love day, it usually means that I'm not forcing myself to do anything unless I'm like super motivated to. Because I actually really wasn't feeling well last night. I didn't actually end up getting sick, but I just did not feel very well. And so I didn't get a lot of sleep, and so today I've just been like, I don't have to go anywhere today. But I am getting lots of stuff done, which also feels really good. Pardon the mess. My room is a disaster, which you actually probably can't see too much from this angle. Maybe you can, I don't know. Because I am in the process of moving. I think I mentioned that. Yes, I did. And I'm doing a bunch of stuff, but I'm also, you know, like, I'm kind of in this balanced space of like moving and getting rid of stuff, but also like craving sacred space, which I'm not even going to show you guys. It's a disaster, and sacred space is not happening a lot. But I did bring up my altar from downstairs because I was just feeling really, my altar was in the basement. I have this altar over here. See, oh my god, yeah, okay, fine, I'll show you. It's a disaster. I live more in a nest than a room. It's just kind of how I go. Anyway, so I was using this as my altar, but it's just really not big enough, and because I have too much stuff, it just gets, as you can see, cluttered. So I brought up my old altar, and I will be doing a video, you guys, at some point on how to create altar space and sacred space, so that's really good. So this was cleansing, but then it turned into my like tarot card series. It's, you know, you get the idea. And then I have all my cards back here, so I had to bring up my cards from like down below on that shelf, like up here, because of the tape. Anyway, a lot of unimportant information. The point is that August 1st was the beginning of Lammas, which is the one of the Wiccan holidays or witchy holidays. And I'll tell you guys here. Let me come back to you guys. So my spiritual practice is very much like, I don't want to say piecemeal because that sounds like not great, but I research so many different spiritual practices. I research Buddhist practices, Hindu, shamanic, American Indian, Egyptian, Wicca, pagan, all of that. Like, and those are just like the ones I can think of right now. Sacred geometry, chakras, blah, 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 all of that. And for me, I really see how they all line up together and how they're all really connected, and so I don't just subscribe to one, I just subscribe to mostly everything. You know, the Mayans, Zodiac, just everything. It's so yummy. So, but because of that, and I do so much studying, and I'm like, you know, skipping around and stuff, and I know I learn a lot of stuff, but, you know, then there's a lot of things that I just haven't stepped into fully. You know, like, I do witchcraft, but I haven't really researched, like, the times of the year, or, like, you know, the wheel of the year, or, you know, like, I'm really obsessed with, like, Egyptian culture and things like that, and I have past lives there, and so I feel all of that, but, you know, I don't know all the gods. You know, it's like, it's almost like my spiritual memory, like, from my visions and things like that, like, are, you know, bringing pieces, and then, like, then I research some, but, you know, like, there are holes, and so, you know, every time, you know, I'll get into something new, like, I'll research it for a while, and then I move on to something else, and then I come back around. So, anyway, I was setting up my altar, and I was watching one of my friends on YouTube, Avalon Spiritual Odyssey. Go check her out, she's amazing, and she was just talking about, she's in Australia, so I believe they're starting Imbolc, which is, I think that's what she said, the season, because, like, the southern hemisphere is the opposite of us, so they're in winter, we're in summer. So she was starting that, and I was like, oh, like, that's just starting. So I went and looked it up, and it's Llamas, and let me show you guys, not show you, but, so, you know, I was, like, researching it, because I was like, oh, maybe I can kind of, like, put some of that energy into my new altar, and also, you know, I just think it's great to be connected to the earth and the cycles. I think cycles, especially as a woman, is extremely important to honor, and I'm really trying to get into that with my blood cycle and, you know, the seasons and all that stuff. So I'm like, here's another layer, and then, you know, the moon cycle, which I do want to get into. I am going to focus more on my blood cycle when I get my Diva Cup, and I'm going to do blood rituals, not in, like, the creepy sense, but, like, they talk about it's really good as a woman to put your blood back into the earth. It's very sacred liquid, or you know, use it for manifesting. You know, throwing it in the trash is kind of, like, really sad. So when I get my Diva Cup and I can actually collect it, I'm going to be starting to get more into, like, the moon cycles. I'm going to be going out in the moon more so I can, like, realign my cycle, because currently I get my period during the full moon, which is, like, the polar opposite. You're supposed to get it during the new moon and then be fertile during the full moon. But I'm, like, literally the opposite, so I really want to get on that. But anyway, back to the Wicca thing. So, we are starting Llamas, and I think that's how it's pronounced, and this is the, like, holiday, whatever you want to call it, of gratitude, abundance, and fruition. I'm all about that. I could really use some of that right now. Like, I mean, like, let me put it this way, I feel that energy, like, it's coming in, and I could, like, if that ramps up even more, like, hallelujah. So that starts on August 1st, and then after that is Mabon, which is, like, Thanksgiving, and that's about Thanksgiving and reflection, and then we start the new year with Samhain, which is, like, Halloween, which is a pagan new year, honoring the dead, cleansing and releasing, and then you kind of start, you know, you get back into it again. And then you have, like, Yule, Brigid, is that what it's called? Brigid? Oh, Imbolc. See, they have, like, alternate names. Okay, so it's Samhain, Yule, Imbolc, Lady Day? Estara? Estara? Sure. Beltane or May Day, then Lithar, Midsummer, and then you got Llamas again. So, the things. So, I'm really actually kind of curious about this, and I'm, like, feeling, like, weirdly, like, I want to know more. But I figured, since I'm actually kind of doing a clean out, if you guys are interested, if you check out my Instagram, which is @WeCreateOurWorld, the link is in the description. If you go there, I'm actually cleaning out a bunch of, like, my crystal collection and things like that, and so I'm selling a lot of my stuff. So if you guys are interested in kind of, like, rummaging through the things that I'm getting rid of, you can go to my Instagram and check that out. So I am trying to, you know, pare stuff down. Like I've mentioned before, I had a serious hoarding problem before I went to Australia. And, like, since I was little. And when I moved to Australia, I got rid of, like, 80% of my stuff, which was, like, very cleansing and, like, a whole thing. But I still have a ton of stuff, like, and so I'm once again trying to, like, repare down. So I want to get rid of at least, like, half of what I have left, which, like, you know, I've gotten way better. Like, I don't buy a lot of things anymore, and it's very, very minimal. And then, like, I got rid of so much stuff that I got pretty good at it. So I'm going to be working on that. So I'm really trying to, like, pare my life, pare my life down. And so as I do that, you know, I want to be creating sacred space with the stuff I really love. So that's where I'm at today. Self-love day, cleansing day. I just, you know, figured out my, like, guys, seriously, like, this whole list, all videos that I've even, like, up to, like here, like, I filmed all of these, and they all need to go up. Like this, you know, this is what's coming. If you guys want to pause it, you can kind of see what's coming up. Mind the spelling, there's no spell check in here, and I type very quickly, so whatever. And then these are the things I need to film. So, like, lots of stuff's coming up, so super excited. Aside from the ones that are filmed, all of those are, you know, going up. So you can be sure to see those, and I'm going to be doing my Starseed vlogs, blah, blah, blah. So really cool. So I thought, as a part of this vlog, because I wanted to do this, and it's like August 1st, and I'm going to be putting this up pretty quickly, I think. I wanted to do like a little, like, so far summer favorites, kind of like, you know, like July favorites. So I thought I'd kind of go around my room and tell you, like, what I'm enjoying. What do you guys think? Well, I can't hear you, so I'm going to do it anyway. And you guys can tell me what you think after. Okay. So let's see. So, what am I looking at? Okay, so let's see. Let's look at books. So right now, the Holistic Tarot is something I'm really, really enjoying here. So that's been really good. I've been doing a little bit more with the Mayan Oracle. That has been awesome. Really enjoying that. Painting is something that I have been really getting into as like a spiritual, like, practice. I'm learning about different kinds of, like, paint methods and stuff like that. So that's, like, really, really exciting. So I don't know if I've mentioned before, but I am obsessed with doTERRA oils, and I'm actually going to be selling them at some point. But these are actually my, like, ritual oils. And when I say ritual, I mean, like, I put them on me, like, every day. So I have lemongrass and lavender, and these are very calming and spiritual, and I get really into that mode of, like, meditation. And then this is my crystal cleanser, which I bought at the shop I used to work at in Australia, and I will, like, anoint my, like, third eye and my chakras with this. Not every day, but it feels very cleansing to me, so that's, like, one of my favorite things that that's not necessarily, like, a July favorite. That's more of, like, a I love these, and I'm, you know, gonna share them with you thing. Another one of my favorites are these crystal wands that I'm now making. These are for, like, altar ceremony stuff, or, well, any kind of ceremony or healing. This is all wood from my like, backwoods, and I have crystals on here and stuff. So those are, like, sacred wands. So if you guys are interested, I am going to be making more of those. You can find those on my Instagram at We Create Our World. So if you're interested in these, like, what I was gonna say, it's my favorite to, like, make them. Like, I love doing them, and I think they're, like, really, really fun. So if you're interested in purchasing one of those, you can check that out on my Instagram, and they'll be up on my Etsy soon as well. So that's really exciting. So those have been just so much fun to make, and I cleanse them and put Reiki in them, and it feels really good. Alright, so another favorite, and you guys will have seen this if you were on my Instagram, but I'm also reading The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life, and I'm like almost halfway through it. This is absolutely amazing. This book, oh, this is where a lot of, like, spirit science, like their first videos are based off of, and spirit science was, like, one of my first, like, what was my first, like, introduction to, like, all of the spirituality stuff. So this has been amazing to delve into, and I love this. There's 2 parts. I highly recommend it. It's awesome. If you like sacred geometry, flower of life, ancient cultures, just all the good stuff, that is something that you will really, really love. So another thing that I've been really enjoying is connecting with nature more. Like, going outside has been just so ridiculously healing. I just going for more walks and relaxing, and it's just been very healing for the soul. And then also I've been getting back into yoga, like actually going to yoga class, like, with my mom and stuff, and that's just been like really healing. I didn't go on Wednesday because me and my mom weren't really feeling it, but I think we're gonna go next Wednesday, so that'll be really awesome. And I'm feeling a lot of gratitude, and I'm feeling like for several months I was really feeling a lack of abundance, which is probably why I wasn't abundant, but I was really struggling with feeling like things were happening and, like, manifesting, and I just feel like in the last several weeks, like that bubble, I don't know if you guys have been feeling it too. Like I had several other friends mention this idea of like it felt like so much was happening, but like nothing was happening. It was like all of this like stirring underlying energy was there, and it was like about to manifest, and it just like wasn't happening. And I've so felt that, and I just feel like in the last few weeks, like that bubble finally burst. Like it finally like almost like the water broke, and now we're like in the birthing process. Like maybe that's like a bit visual, but like that's how I feel. It's like it's been gestating, growing, and like the water finally broke, and now we're like feeling like the abundance starting to flow. And that's just like really exciting. Like I feel like, well, I've had issues with like feeling like I can manifest for a while, like my whole life. Like I've always been able to manifest what I need, but I want to learn how to manifest what I want, and I feel like that's starting to become like a thing. Like it was always like just like very close to what I needed, you know. It was always like only a few dollars, and like I'd be broke, and then I'd need to go food shopping, and it's like I'd get a client or something. And it's starting to feel like that margin between like what I need and like what I'm getting is like growing, like very like slowly but surely. Like it's like I have a little bit of extra money now, you know, and I'm, you know, I owe some people some money, like full disclosure, I owe some people some money, and you know, all of that, and I'm living here, and I'm supposed to be paying rent, and I haven't been able to, but like I'm actually like starting to be able to be like, I can put a little money towards that. Like I can like, you know, give my mom some rent and like, you know, pay some people back, and like that feels really good. And I just want to stay in this state of gratitude, because I know like as I keep sitting in this feeling of like my needs are taken care of, and then, you know, slowly step into the space of my wants are being taken care of, because that's the big leap. I think a lot of people, you know, feel like their needs can be taken care of, but like they don't feel worthy that their wants can be taken care of by the universe. And like, let's be real, like we have infinite abundance in the universe. Like the universe is infinite, or the many universes are infinite, and like there's God, like there's enough abundance and flow for the entire universe. Like I'm sure we can all have abundance, you know. And so get into that mind space of like that the universe not only cares about like what we need, but what we want, and like that experience. So like that's where I'm kind of like, I'm in this like middle ground of like feeling like, all right, my needs are taken care of. Like what is it like my wants, like, you know, being, you know, having more than just like food and like a little bit of transportation and stuff like that. And so that's what I'm really stepping into. So I'm like, I'm really trying to stay in that mindset, and I feel like I finally, something switched in my brain where like that shifted, because like it definitely was like not like that for like my whole life. So that's something that I'm really in, and like it feels lighter, and my chest feels more open, and I feel like I can like breathe, and that feels so good. And it's very marginal, like it's like a bit, but like it's definitely like that bit is growing. Like I can, it's not just like, oh, it's just a little more and that's stagnant. Like I see it. It's like more people are messaging me for like, you know, like sessions and doing healings, and like people are always asking me questions, and my videos are getting more views, and I'm getting more subscribers, and it feels good. Like it feels like this bubble is like beginning to open up and like expand, and like not just be so like claustrophobic, and that feels really good. I don't know if any of this makes sense, but that's just where I'm at, and it feels so good. And like, you know, like a lot of times I think people look at this, you know, when they start to come into this space of like awakening and, you know, creating a reality and all that, and they're like, oh, it's like must be so great once you become like mindful and aware. It's like waking up is messy. Like waking up is like half the time you think you're crazy, and the other half the time you're being like, your mind is being like blown. Like, and then like you're like in the shadow, and you're dealing with stuff and emotional stuff, and it comes up because like once you start awakening, like these things come up faster and more intense, because like you're now conscious, and so like that's a reflection. So you like see these things more intensely, and you feel them more intensely, because as you awaken you become more intuitive and feeling and la la la. So like even though like I feel so much freer and open and aware and like free of the story, like I also feel like there's so much more, because like there's infinite things to like explore and learn and grow in. And so like, you know, as much as it's like high, it is deep, you know, like, and so you have to go deep within to like explore up high, if that makes sense. And so that's part of the reason I want to do these vlogs, is because like, yes, I have visions. Yes, I'm psychic. Yes, I talk to like extraterrestrials and channel, and you know, I do meditations, and I feel awesome, and I feel like I can manifest lots of things. I want to be transparent with you guys and be like, there are like two sides to this. Like, we're living in duality. Like, that's such like so poignant for me right now. Like, to go up, you have to go in as well, and that can be really hard and messy and emotional. And you know, half the time you're just like trying to like ride this roller coaster and like be present with yourself and just be like, it's kind of like, to go back to the birth analogy, it's kind of like the difference between taking drugs to like numb the pain and just being like, no, I'm gonna feel this pain and be present, because I want to have this full experience of the birth of like whoever I am and whatever this experience is as the universe perceiving itself. And that's not to say that I judge the people who are numbing. Like, I believe everything is neutral until we decide to put a story around it. Like, it's all an experience. And the women who take the drugs to give birth, that's your experience. Now, I personally wouldn't want to do that, because I don't want to put like extra chemicals in and the baby comes out kind of half drugged and blah, blah, blah. That's a whole other topic. And this is a metaphor, so it's not, but it's kind of like that though. Like, if you think about it, like, if you like reject what you're experiencing, if you're rejecting the experience on some level by like numbing it or like ignoring it, in essence, you're starting to reject yourself, and you're not honoring like whatever that is. And there is a level of unawareness. You get drugged out, like you're not really all there. And the birth and the manifestation isn't as clear. So I guess it is kind of like an appropriate like metaphor. But when you're fully present and there's no drugs, and you just trust your body, and you're present with the pain, and you're present with the experience, you get to have a much more sacred experience. You know, you get to have that like true deep awareness of like who you are, and you get to be fully present with whatever you manifest. And that manifestation is crisp and beautiful and awake and alive. And so like, there is an amazing beauty to this whole experience of awakening and growing and evolving, but like the pain is there too. And so I just kind of wanted to mention that, like, for all of you guys like stepping into this, like, I wouldn't do anything else. Like, honestly, like, for me, this is my life path. This feels beautiful and good. Like, I can't imagine doing anything else, honestly. But it's work. Like, it is deep soul work. And like I say to people, it's like, it's like emotional boot camp. It's soul boot camp. And it's awesome. Like, it's so awesome. But like most people getting into this definitely don't know what they're getting into. Like, it's kind of like, I jokingly, I'm like with my friends, I'm like, I should come up with a disclaimer, because oftentimes the people I hang out with also start awakening. It's just kind of like how it goes. And I'm like, I should come with like a disclaimer, or like this experience should come with a disclaimer, like, shit's about to get real. Shift is gonna get real, and shift is gonna go down, you know? Like, whew. But it's so worth it. And like, I so see that like the souls that are on this planet are like built for this. Like, we came here for this experience. We came here to shift the planet because we knew we could. So I encourage you, if it's hard, or if you're stepping into this, like, you can do it. You can fully do it. And I have faith in you. You're awesome. You're like, boom. It's great. And I think it's kind of like giving birth. If women really knew what it felt like no woman would get pregnant, you know. Even like after birth, like the mind doesn't remember pain like the same way it is when it's like in the experience, because they say like if women could remember fully what that felt like, they'd be like, nope, not happening. So I think that's kind of like this, but like I just like, you know, I just trust my guides, and I talk to my guides and I say, hey, you know, I'm willing, be gentle. Like, you know, push me like right to that edge of like where you know I can handle, and just like, but I trust that they are gonna bring in like my abilities and my awareness like exactly when I need it, and like so that I'm not just like thrown all over the place, because I've seen people have that kind of awakening and it's wow, intense. So I really trust my guides that they know what's good for me, and so I'm really trying to like step into that. But yep, that's my update for today. It's kind of like a lot. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Much love and peace. Namaste. Don't forget, it's all about the soul journey. Mwah. Bye.